Welcome back, my friends. Thank you for standing by. Welcome back to just the worst thing ever. Oh. Sure you don't need to just burn coins for a while? That's what we're doing. We're burning coins. I thought we were gonna do real good. We were doing beautifully. That was one of my best runs ever. But like all good things, it cannot withstand the awful corrupting presence of this game and its universe. This game is Pandora's box. Its presence in our timeline is the source of all woes. That break really helped. Oh my goodness, let's get out of here. Can you believe it? How in the world has that happened? I need to take the dog for a walk more often. Oh, I'm so happy. It was all fleeting, though, because I still have the rest of the game ahead of me. Oh, let's get out of here. Oh, we have 2 of those left. We have 2 of those left. I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself now for the rest of the night. I mean, I know we have that racing minigame, but, you know. On the one hand, congrats. On the other hand, my sympathies for the plight we will soon go through. Yeah. It's never really good. We're never really in a good position. There's always the next awful thing to look forward to. That was pretty remarkable. It only took 2 tries. It only took 2 tries after we got back. It took 350 tries before the break. And then I came back and it took 2. I don't know why my rockets don't kick in sometimes, you know? I don't actually remember what it's like beyond this door. Oh, it's this area. I remember this place. It's not fun. You know, I feel like we've spent a ton of time along this path. Oh, I didn't mean to switch characters. I think I'm going to back out of there, and I'm going to go back to the SS Anubis. I think there's a higher chance that I didn't... Oh, and you know what? This has one of those mini games on it, too, so... Might as well be here. I think there's a higher chance that there's part of this ship that I didn't take Lupus to than that I missed something in the area we just left. I think maybe there's a chance I've never taken Lupus all the way through this level. But maybe I've only taken him to one of the branching paths. Yeah, hooray for spending a mega amount of time on minigames. Yep, can't wait to do another one. Okay, that jump cannot be made. Maybe this one will be easier after that other one. I feel like that one was harder, like, just to first clear, so maybe... A guy can dream, right? Chills. can't figure out if there's any purpose, if there's any point to having mercy on the ones that surrender. Welcome in, Raiders. Yaden, thank you for the raid. Always a pleasure to have you join us. Welcome to Jet Force Gemini, a game that I regret playing more than anything else I've ever played on the stream. This game is a nightmare. I hope you're having a wonderful night. Welcome in Jen, Jester, Kiwi Viking. Great to have you here. Amazon Prime Directive, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Conductor Mikey D, welcome in. Jet Force Gemini, I love this game. My experience with this game has been a very rough one. I started off thinking this game was kind of okay for the first couple hours, and then it started to get pretty good for several hours, and now I'm in the very late game, and everything left to do is super difficult, and I'm going through a lot of suffering. I'm going through a lot of suffering. I spent 3 hours tonight on one mini game. I tried it over 350 times before I finally beat it. That's the way my night's been going. It's rough. It's very rough. We're really late into this game, and so my trouble is the spot that I've worked myself into. So I play every game with a very strict blind policy. I really hate to do any research. I don't like to look anything up. I don't want to have people give me hints and help and advice or anything like that, as much as I can possibly avoid it. So I'm in a really bad situation because of that policy, because I've got 2 collectibles I have to find that I just have no clue where in the universe they even might be. And I've got like 3 mini games left to complete that are so brutal, because I'm going for like the highest rank on all of them. That's what's getting me in trouble. Is there's all these flying robot mini games, and if you stay with us for a little while, you'll see one in a few minutes. We're probably going to play another one in within the next like 15 to 20 minutes. It's rough. This game gets rough. But I'm trying to stick with it. I'm trying to see it all the way through to the end. We'll see. We'll see if I make it there. I don't think I made it this far. It was hard because, but the parts I did play were fun. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm real down on this game right now because I'm struggling with some really brutal optional content on the one hand, and just some really cryptic main content on the other. So you're gonna hear a lot of I hate this game, I can't stand this game. If you ask me like a month after I beat it how I feel about it, you'll probably get a more positive review. I'm kind of mercurial, and so, you know, I'll turn my opinion. I'll turn my opinion on a dime. You know what? Let's just go play this mini game. I was gonna explore some before the mini game, but I think we'll go play the mini game first. So you'll get to see my pain. Did the shout out link go through? For Yaden, there it is. It says retro category. I'd love to hear what you were playing tonight, Yaden, if you'd care to share. And if there's anyone in chat, if you don't already follow Yaden, please use that link. Wonderful stream. Lots of retro stuff. Big fan of professional wrestling as well. That's what the RMP. It's Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling. More Quake 2 this evening. I have the utmost faith in you. Thank you for the vote of confidence, Yaden. My confidence is shaken. Quake 2 or 2 Quake. Not stirred. That's how I like my chocolate milk, is shaken, not stirred. Good grief, that's more than once. Just a little bit. 350 is just a little bit more than one. Waz, welcome in. Zero, welcome in. Great to see you, my friends. The multiplayer in this was dope. I never got to play that. Quaking, not stirred. So I had this game when I was young, but as I remember, I believe I got this game very shortly before I got the GameCube. So I only played a very small amount of this game as a kid. The GameCube almost immediately completely overshadowed this game for me. And it's one that I'd always thought I would go back to someday, and finally that day came on the stream, and it's a rough game. It's a rough game. Like, the moment-to-moment gameplay is pretty cool, especially, like, after you get a couple hours into it, because the control scheme is a little janky in this game. It's a little, it controls a little odd. It's not terrible, but you have to get used to it. And so for the first couple hours, like, the controls are kind of weird, and you're really limited on your weapon choices. But if you stick with it a little while, you get used to the controls, you get some better weapons, the game starts to become a lot of fun. Like, because the combat, like running around and blowing up the enemies, it's a lot of fun. It's a good time. But then when you get later into the game, you've got a lot of mini games to deal with, and you've got a bunch of collectibles you have to find that are really super well hidden. Like Donkey Kong Country 2 levels of super well hidden. And it just becomes kind of a nightmare toward the end. Oh no, this is on the Nintendo 64. So I also get to grapple with the Nintendo 64 joystick while I play. If it wasn't already hard enough. No, we're playing on the original hardware. So I'm overwhelmingly a retro gamer and mostly console stuff. I will play newer stuff on the Switch from time to time. I'm kind of a pretty big Nintendo fan, so I play a lot of Nintendo's first party releases on the Switch. I kind of keep up with that. That's really the only modern gaming I do, though, aside from indie games here and there. But overwhelmingly, it's retro stuff on console, and I try to stick to original hardware. I'm pretty lucky. I've got a pretty nice physical collection, so I try to use it as much as possible. Yeah, original hardware. I knew I liked you for a reason, Yaden says. That's pretty impressive. Thank you, Kiwi Viking. The first try rocket you fire in Tall Fred is a good feeling, Zero says. Alright, so the mini game that I was struggling with earlier was one of these. They're these first-person view flying robot missions. And just like, it's really tough. You bounce around like a pinball. And the time limits that you have to satisfy are super, super tight. Right now, I'm going pretty slow. I'm trying to get the lay of the land. I don't really remember the layout of this mini game. So, there's one down at the bottom, and there's 2 things to shoot in here. Last thing is to the right. I missed it. That's okay. I know where it is. And we're trying to get, what we want to get is an expert medal. There's a green medal, bronze medal, silver medal, gold medal, and expert medal. And we want expert. Of course. And so far as I'm aware, you don't get anything for the expert medals. I'm going for the expert medals because they're there to be gotten. I'm going for the expert medals because I'm a deeply flawed individual who cannot pass a collectible when I know it's there. Oh, this is rough. I'm already bouncing all over the place. You can really taste the retro collision. Yeah, so the way I've been complaining about that is like it feels like your body in this game is it feels like you have 2 hitboxes. You've got one for grabbing the collectibles and one for bouncing off the walls. And the hitbox that grabs the collectibles is infinitely small, while the hitbox that bounces off the walls is infinitely large. It's the worst paradox. My aim is pretty trash. Gold medal. I have no idea by how much we have to improve to make that an expert medal, but I mean, clearly that was a bad run anyway, so. That was pretty bad and got us gold is somewhat promising, though. Maybe we won't be on this one for hours. This and Armorines are the 2 games that I really like playing but could never beat, Prime Directive says. I haven't tried Armorines. I have a copy of it. I know the feeling. I sunk hours into GoldenEye and Perfect Dark to unlock everything. I loved Perfect Dark. I didn't unlock everything in that game. Far from it, but I played a ton of that game when I was young. That's how they kept kids playing the game, I guess. The brutal challenges. There's all those games with really poor difficulty curves developers switched from arcade machines, made to milk quarters to games meant to be enjoyed at home. Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't mind a challenging game, but it can be dispiriting when you're failing repeatedly and you don't really feel like there's anything you can do about it. It's hard to hold on to your happy thoughts when you fall out of the sky over and over again. Most of the stuff, like most of the games that I really enjoy are considered to be super brutal, and I mean, not that I have an easy time with them, but like I love Contra and Castlevania, and Super Ghouls and Ghosts is my all-time favorite game. Currently, I'm working on Jump King, which is a nightmare, but I kind of really love it. How did I miss that? Armorines is pretty brutal in difficulty. What type of game is it? Is it like a first-person shooter game, or is it like a vehicle combat game? I don't even really know what it's like. It's just one of those things I've had sitting on the shelf for forever. There's no time to go back. If I move past anything, I've just gotta retry. You can reverse, but you can't afford the time to reverse, and turning around, forget about it. I know I spent ages on these Floyd missions, experted them all back in the day, but I think I'd have trouble now, Zerl says. They're definitely the most challenging part of the game. They are brutal. They are some of the toughest stuff that I've done. They're some of the toughest stuff that I've done on the stream, I think. It's a FPS with Starship Trooper vibes. That's a pretty good movie. Don't get me wrong, I like difficult games, but some games you can tell were made with arcade machines in mind. Where the final boss rocks up with 1 billion health and every attack is an unblockable one-shot. I'm getting caught on a lot of the scenery here, losing a lot of precious milliseconds. Oops, wrong button. When learning to dodge one-shots is a huge part of the previous paradigm, it's no surprise that newer games would fall back on it. Thinking of I think of Battletoads for a game where like Battletoads is probably like my go-to game for like game I like where bosses one-shot you over and over and over again. So in addition to my strictly blind first playthroughs, when I come across a game I really enjoy, I'll sometimes commit myself to challenge runs of them. Particularly if they're shorter, like arcade style games, then I'll try to do like 1-credit clears or deathless runs. And we've done some pretty tough games, and Battletoads is one of those that, like, I love Battletoads, and I've done a 1-credit clear of Battletoads. I would really love to go on the grind for a deathless run of Battletoads. But it's just, there's so many enemies that one-shot you in that game. And there's a lot of RNG. It's just so brutal. I think Battletoads is just a dream. I have in isolation made it through every level of the game without losing a life. Like if you stitch together all my best levels, it would be a deathless run, except for stage 8. The Stormtrooper boss. I've never defeated the Stormtrooper boss without losing a life. I haven't been able to figure him out. We were doing really well there. It's been a while since I've actually completed a challenge like that. We were working on Splatterhouse 2, but I took a little break from it. I can do normal mode of that game deathless, but I was trying to do it on the hardest difficulty, and I got close. My best run, I died at the final boss. And I've just been taking a little break. It gets pretty rough after a while, some of those. Armorine's aiming is very similar to Perfect Dark. On Special Agent, it only auto-aims when very close and standing still. The enemies move very fast. Okay. That's not unfamiliar territory for me then. Because it's easy and it does a lot of damage. Happy souls. I pulled a Frownie. Sheer willpower kept me almost completely blind to Super Mario Wonder. Started it 30 minutes ago. Oh, excellent. Next. Hey, Nar, welcome in. We have another raid. Nar Blast, if you're unfamiliar, has another wonderful stream. Nar is working his way through every NES game using real hardware and real cartridges, and trying to get through as blind as possible on each of them. And is on game 400 something, the mid to late 400, somewhere in there. I don't remember the exact count, but a lot of people start up complete library challenges and kind of fizzle out. Nar is deep into it. I think he's going to make it. Spent 4 hours, basically got almost nothing accomplished. I hate Might and Magic. Oh no, Nar. I'm sorry. Sounds like you've had a night even worse than me, and I wouldn't have believed that was possible. I was struggling with one of these flying mini games for 3 hours tonight, Nar. I feel your pain. That sounds rough. What were the sections that bled lives on the 1 credit run? Oh, asked and answered. Yeah, yeah. That stage 8 is the worst for me, Zero. And I don't like. That's another, like, just like my first playthroughs are blind. If I know I'm gonna do a challenge run of a game, I try to avoid all content from it until I've finished all the challenges I want to do. So like I don't, I never know any of the good strats basically. I like to work these things out with my own. I'm fiercely independent in my gameplay style. I don't like to have a lot of outside influence, which means I'm very bad at a lot of games for a very long time, and I'm very slow to ever make any progress or learn anything. it's quite it can be quite agonizing watching me go through a game, especially if you know it really well already. It's a lot of my gameplay can be quite cringe-inducing. What's the newest console you play for your retro games? What's the newest what's the newest console I play that I would still consider retro? So generally, like, up to the like all the way up to the PlayStation 2 is pretty much on the table. I'm largely, but not exclusively, focused on Nintendo consoles. That's what I grew up with, so it's what I have the most of. But I mean, I do play PlayStation 1, 2, Sega Genesis, even like as old as like the Commodore 64 and Atari 2600 some nights. Then there's a little bit of a gap. Like after, like I don't really play anything like between the PlayStation 2 and the Switch. I'm really unlikely to pick anything up from that sort of era. I don't even own most of the consoles in that range. Yeah, pre-internet enabled consoles are kind of my cutoff. Except like I keep up with the Switch, but that's and so that's the exception. All right, we hit at least 5 resets with an enemy that insta kills your whole party. Nar says, "Oh, this game does not sound like fun. You can't control when it shows up. Whenever that happens, it's usually during a section where you can't save and you end up losing all of your XP up to that point." I wish you luck, Nar. It sounds worse every comment I read. Welcome in, top floor of Arclight Car Park. Pleasure to have you with us, top floor. Gotta work. Have a good stream. Have a good stream. Thank you for the good wishes. Have a good have a good work. I hope it goes productively and smoothly. The stream I'm originally from is 3,200 games. He started a long time ago from A to Z in the games in the Steam library. From A to Z, including number and other characters. Just beat the 3rd game in A. Alright, so not right at the start, but quite a ways to go. But still, 3,600 divided by, what, 35? So it's like assuming an even distribution, which it wouldn't be. There's probably at least a couple hundred games there already knocked out, but a long journey to go. Pretty sure the PlayStation 3 is considered retro by some now. So I don't think of games in the same way. Like I don't have just two I don't think it's useful to just have two categories of games in your mind. To just say everything is either retro or everything is current is not very useful, because I don't really think that games post the year 2000 are ever going to are really of a type with games before the year 2000 as a rough cutoff. When we stopped caring about how many bits a game had and started caring about how many polygons a game had, something fundamentally changed there forever. And polygon games are never going to be in the same group as bit games for me. We need more... You see, we need more... We need more category titles, right? Like, in literature, for example, you don't just have modern and retro literature. And it's not just like, well, everything published more than 10 years ago is retro literature, and everything published in the last 10 years is modern literature. That's not the way they think about it. And so when people say, like, oh, you know, the PlayStation 3 is retro now, that's like someone saying to me, like, oh, well, enough time has passed that Stephen King is now a Victorian-era author. And it's like, well, no. Just because the calendar moved along didn't push him back into a time period he didn't exist in. So that's when people talk about what's retro and what isn't, it's a difficult conversation because I don't think about it as two categories like that. So when I think, like, I use the term retro game for a blanket term, basically for everything where it was advertised with bits. And when things start to be advertised with polygon counts, it becomes a different era of gaming. And I'm not, you know, and I'm not jealous for the term retro. If you want to call the polygon games retro and you want to call the bit games something else, antiques or whatever, I don't care what you call them, but they're a different category and they'll always be a separate category to me. So it gets difficult to talk about that because people have different, like, conceptions in their minds of how to think about old games. But I mean, it doesn't at the end of the day it doesn't really matter all that much. You get embarrassingly low amounts of gold and XP for how much work you put in the battles, Nar says. I still don't like using the word retro for games that are actually old. Retro means something new that's trying to look old. I would consider The Messenger in that category. Okay. That's interesting, Nar. I haven't thought about that. I usually call it classic. That is a good point. NES games are retro. PlayStation 2 games are nostalgic, Next says. Yeah, that's a good point. I like that point, Nora. The later years would be more like the console generations. Yeah, and the console generations are good, but they're sometimes a little bit too the console generation. The problem with the console generations are the opposite problem, where they're a little bit too narrow. Because I have no problem with lumping NES and Super NES together. Even though they're actually different generations, right? I do think the generation labels are more useful terms, though, because they're more specific, even though I think they're too specific. The trouble I have with them is just I never remember which number generation each console is. I refuse to acknowledge anything I grew up with as retro, Next says. Uh, the crazy Bit Wars was an interesting time, Prime Directive says. You wait until it loops back around and games are advertising 256 bits. Uh, yeah, I always kind of think of 8 and 16-bit games together. All right, I've been sitting on that screen for quite a while. Maybe I should press a few buttons here while we chat. Uh, no, you're doing real well, but well, did I miss that? Guess you could group games by which console companies are fighting. Classify game eras by which company died out in the war. Atari, 3DO, Sega. So I grew up with Nintendo stuff. My very first video games were Commodore 64 games. So, like, the first game I ever played was Ghostbusters on the Commodore 64. Maybe Donkey Kong. I don't actually remember. I don't actually remember the very first time I ever sat down and played a video game. But it was probably Ghostbusters or Donkey Kong. I usually say Ghostbusters when someone asks me because it's the funnier answer. Because it's a pretty wildly terrible game. But my very first video games were C64 games. And then we had an Atari 2600 for a while, but I remember nothing about it other than just having it. I couldn't tell you a single game we had. The only things I remember was that it was one of those with the like wood paneling sticker on it, and we had those paddle controllers, but no idea what games. Then we got the NES, and I had all the Nintendo stuff after that, and I really like had almost no exposure to anything Sega or anything Sony. I had an aunt who had a Sega Genesis, and she had Sonic Spinball, I think was her only game. And I had a cousin who had a Game Gear, and he had a Power Rangers game, a Sonic game, and a block pushing game called Slider. And that one we really liked. We played that game a lot. We passed the Game Gear back and forth. That was pretty much it. Like, I didn't have any friends that I like at my school that had a Genesis, and so I never saw one regularly. And no one had a PlayStation until I was in high school. My best friend in high school had a PlayStation, but we didn't play a whole lot on it. The only thing I remember us playing together was we played Bushido Blade, and we played that terrible Star Wars fighting game. Bushido Blade is awesome, though. If you're only going to play one PlayStation 1 game, Bushido Blade's a good choice. That's a fun game. But that was about it. And so it's really just been on the stream because I started collecting retro games really early on, and at first it was just about the time that when the Nintendo 64 was still like new, is when I started buying NES games, and then I started buying SNES games, and then I like found a cheap Genesis and started buying Genesis games, and I just started buying all these games, but I never got around to playing them. I was mostly just hoarding them, and particularly with like the Genesis and the PlayStation. I don't think I actually started collecting those until I was in college, and I wasn't playing games then. Hardly at all. But I've tried to keep like a fair amount of Sega games and of Genesis games and PlayStation games on our schedule. And it's a lot of fun because like since I never explored any of these libraries, like I already had a massive amount of Nintendo games out there that I've never played. But there's something really fun about exploring games on consoles that I didn't have as a kid, because it's like visiting retro games from another planet. Parallel timeline or something. I think I missed one of the computer chips. No, I got them all. Just slow. Masters of Terras Kasai. The Star Wars game? That's probably it. Next says, I actually remember the very first time I played a game. I was either 3 or 4. My dad brought out a 6-inch TV and hooked up Super Mario Bros. I learned fast and played better than he did. Well done. My first was a Sega Genesis with Sonic Spinball. I almost gave up on games. Not counting the Atari joystick with Pong. Angela says Super Mario Brothers was my very first video game that I remember really well. I did have a VIC-20 and a C64 as well, but I don't remember much. It's tough because I place so many of these. Like, when you scrape along the edge... Victory! Expert medal! It didn't even take 3 hours! Let's go! Oh, that's very nice. That one was way, way less brutal than the other one. Way less brutal. Thank goodness. I've only got one left now. I've only got one of these left. Alright, let's get out of here. So, back into exploration mode. Make sure we save the game. Thank you for the GGs, Angelus, Zerol, Prime Directive. Amazon Prime Directive. If I may be so bold as to ask a question, I'm curious as to whether that's a Star Trek or a RoboCop reference. I guess it could be both or something else, but when I hear Prime Directive, I think RoboCop myself. I'm a pretty big fan of RoboCop. Both, but mostly RoboCop? Oh, wonderful. I'm not much into Star Trek. I don't have anything against it, really. Like, I've watched a little bit of the original series and the Next Generation. I've seen a lot of the Star Trek movies. Well, maybe not a lot, but I've seen a few of them. I've seen a smattering of episodes here and there, but there's just the thing about Star Trek is there's just so much of it. There's all these different series, and there's hundreds of episodes of each, it seems like, and it's... I don't even know how you get through it. There's too much. I stick to the movies in the Picard era. That's probably where I'm most familiar. Even crazier than my first game, me getting my older brother back into gaming may have helped him get married, Next says. Yeah, that's nice. Didn't play games for over 10 years. Younger brother got him to try Skyrim. He got back into games. And he met someone at a party, and they first talked about Far Cry 4. Hey. How'd you even find out that the expert medals exist? Good question, Kiwi Viking. So, I got curious about it. So you have the medals here. And the one on the far right, we got, so the first medal we got was from one of the robot missions was a green medal, and it just said merit. And I didn't know that the bronze, silver, and gold medals existed. At first, there was just that merit, and then we did another robot challenge, and we got the medal on the right, which is an expert medal, but I don't remember it calling it that. I don't even think I don't even remember it showing us the medal when it awarded it to us, because that robot mission was different from the other ones. Like it wasn't optional. We had to do that for the story to progress. And I think by default you just get the expert medal from that one for free. But I was curious because that medal looked different. So that's what made me suspicious that something was going on. And then later we met a character who hinted that if we completed one of the something the character said hinted that if we completed one of the robot missions at a high enough medal ranking, we would get a particular key item for more story progression. So that led me to find that the bronze, silver, and gold existed. And then I was still suspicious because we got gold medals on all of these, except that one still looked different. And I didn't know if it was different because it was a mandatory story mission and not an optional one, or I didn't know why it was different. But then one of these robot missions that I did was really easy, and I got the gold medal on it right away. And so, just out of curiosity, just to experiment, I ran that one a few more times, and I ended up getting the expert medal, and I was like, oh, and it matched the other one I had, and so it was like, oh, okay, so there is an expert medal, but it took me a long time. It was a slow process of like figuring out little pieces because yeah, I didn't know about I had all the gold medals and I thought I was done with these for a while. And I was lamenting earlier tonight. I was saying if only I'd never discovered the expert medal exists, I could have just completed my playthrough with all the golds and felt like I 100%ed it. And maybe I'd be done with it, and then years from now, someone would tell me, "Oh, did you ever get the expert medals in Jet Force Gemini?" And I'd be like, "What expert medals? I guess I'll have to go back and get those someday," and then never do it. That's what I was kind of wishing for earlier, but it didn't turn out that way. But we're doing good now. We've got 3 of them. There's only one left to get. It is on one of the more challenging robot missions that's left. It's one of the more challenging ones, but I don't think it's the worst one. So I think we've already done the worst one. Let's not walk out here yet. First game was Pac-Man in arcades, Greg says. 1982. First console game, Super Mario Bros. I did, Greg. I did. We beat that flying stage. I got the expert medal. It took me about 3 hours. Greg says the OG series and Next Generation for Star Trek for me. Didn't get into it until the Wrath of Khan. I was too far behind to get into the original series, but kept up on the movies. The game baited you into it. Yeah, there were little breadcrumbs. There are little breadcrumbs that helped me figure it out. You really can't quit now. You're far too close. Oh no, I'm not going to give up on this game. In my moments of heartache and despair, like I might say, I'm giving up. I'm never going to play it again, but it's all lies. I'm just venting frustration if you hear me say something like that. We can't give up on this. I don't know if there's something over here or not. don't even know if I can fly out of this area. Oh, I can. No, there's not a secret back here. I thought that was clever. I mean... Oops. I didn't mean to roll off the edge there that time. That's fine. You know what? I wanted to go back this way anyway. All right, Frownie, time to hit the rack. Great to see you. Good luck with the rest of Jet Force. Good night, all. Good night, Yaden. Thank you again for the raid. Always a pleasure to have you join us, Yaden. I hope that you sleep well. Have a fantastic tomorrow, and hopefully I'll see you again real soon. We lived in the sticks and didn't have regular TV, just the news and PBS. Thank you for the GG, Greg. I think I've caught most of the chat. If I missed somebody coming in, or if I missed a message specifically earmarked for my attention, I apologize. I see that door. I've been through that door 1,000 times. Just trying to see if anything else looks suspicious or opens up if I get near it. Looks like no, however, on that. They give you so much fuel in here, though, and you don't have to travel all that far. It's just right there. Guess it really is just kind of for no real reason, though. Lupus can't open this door. I have a feeling no one can open this door. But why don't we just go ahead and try real quick. You have to watch the cutscenes every time you move between planets. They're always unskippable, no matter how many times you've seen them. It's pretty rough. It's like Starfield. Well, I can't open this door. Yeah, no, that I'm certain no character can open this door. This is the first game I can think of having a mission hub. Traveling cutscenes might just be functioning like a loading screen for the game. Welcome in, Conqueror Worm. Yeah, I mean, I thought about that, but I mean, it's a game on a cartridge. I thought one of the benefits of a cartridge was that you didn't really need loading cutscenes, supposedly. And yet... here we are. Seems like a staple for Rare. They did it with Perfect Dark too. The cutscenes were unskippable in Perfect Dark. I didn't remember that. It's been a while. If you've been playing this game for 6 hours, it's a lot better than Starfield. Yeah, I don't really know anything about. That's the Starfield is the it's the Bethesda game, right? Don't really know anything about it. It didn't seem to capture the whole world like Skyrim did, though. I did notice that. Oh, the mission hub. Seems like a staple for Rare. It's the gaming punching bag, Starfield. Rough. This area here seems to have potential. It seems like there might be somewhere where I can get on top of these boxes if I look around real carefully. I've been here and looked around before and didn't find anything, but... maybe I just wasn't clever enough. Maybe if I... if I access a higher percentage of my brain power, I can see something I didn't see before. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, old games and trying to reach things by jumping at them. That's exactly what we're about to do. Because I've got this great hover ability, so I imagine if I can just get a leg up somewhere on any sort of ledge, if I can find one thing to stand on, I'll be able to hover pretty much anywhere else I want to go. Oops. That guy was surrendering. The music's really loud in here. I'm gonna turn it down a touch. Blowing the ants apart never gets old. It's pretty satisfying to, especially when you've got your, the larger weapons, like missiles and bombs. Ah, look, here we go. No, robbed. What? This platform is offset. It's, look, it's offset, and they put an invisible wall there. That's sickening. Rare should be ashamed of themselves. They literally gave me a ledge and then blocked it with an invisible wall. That's so bogus. That's so bogus. That's exactly what I was looking for. And it was all a cruel joke. This one does it too. Oh, a rare. A rare. You're not getting an invitation to my birthday party. Yeah, I've got a flamethrower. The flamethrower is alright. It doesn't have much of range to it. I don't use it all that often, but it is effective when you're close to somebody. I can use it a bit. Well, maybe not. It just takes a little bit of fire. And, like, I don't think there's any coming back from that. Oh, wait, maybe there is. Maybe the fire does go out. It's not the best weapon. This game is good. What's in this door? I think there are two doors in this area. One is an exit. This is the exit. I'm definitely not ready to exit. We didn't eliminate this side. Well, it looks like there's nothing over here, too. Yeah, nothing ventured, nothing gained. It's jank, but it's also an N64 game. Okay, there's another door around here somewhere. I think this is the same one. I think I just wanted to circle. Okay. It's confusing. Everything looks the same. Have you played the Army Men games? Oh, yeah. I haven't revisited those. I played them as a kid. I think all three of them on the Nintendo 64. Sarge's Heroes and Air Combat. I really liked those games. Those were a lot of fun. I got really into those games for a while. I can't believe this platform is offset and it won't let me get up there. Is the other door? This is the other door. I was playing Army Men Team Assault earlier today, Next says. It's a shame 3DO went under, then the series died. I think there were also some Army Men games on the PlayStation as well, though, right? And I never played any of those, so those would be on the table for me as like new experiences. machine gun ammo. I was hoping whatever type of ammo I got would, like, give me a hint as to, like, what weapon might help me, like, knock a box down or something, but I don't think the machine gun is gonna do it. I don't think the machine gun is gonna work anywhere. There's still an enemy around here? Where are you? Where are you hiding? Thought I missed somebody. A couple on the original Xbox, on the Wii, DS, a few on mobile that aren't really related. Alright, so there's a handful of them out there yet. Team Assault's a PlayStation 1 game. I grew up with Army Men Air Attack, Team Assault, and Land, Sea, Air. My brother multiplayer. Never beat any of them, Nick says. I think I beat the 3 on the Nintendo 64. I don't remember them being terribly difficult though, so PlayStation games might be harder than the N64 ones. I'm pretty sure I beat them all. I feel like Sarge's Heroes 2, if I remember right, I feel like that game kind of ends on a cliffhanger too. Which is, you know, annoying. Don't like to see something like that not get resolved, right? There's still more enemies? How? Where? I don't believe it. Come on, just let me find the way up. There's got to be a way up in here. Why the red light? Oh, who's firing at me? Hey, give me something, anything. Come on, give me a way to climb up there, game. I'm tired of your nonsense. There's gotta be a way up there. It's so close. I would assume that the way to get up there is not some weird cryptic climb on a wall, half on a polygon seam. Kinda, like there should be like a breakable brick or even if there's just a door up there from another part of the thing, but I don't see a door. Guess I don't see any of what's up there. It's so hard to explore this area. There's just... I don't know what or where anything is. I already wasted all my explosives, so I can't just run around firing explosives everywhere and hope I blow something up, which is what I really want to do. It hurts my insides that I can't make this happen. Oh, hello, Donkey Son. Welcome in. Sorry I didn't see you there. I'm kind of distracted, kind of lost in confusion at the moment. have a strong feeling that there's something I'm missing somewhere in this room. And just haven't pieced it together yet. Played Sarge's Heroes until the cartridge quit working. Sarge's Wars played a bunch. Sarge's Heroes does. It picks up in Sarge's War on Xbox. Oh, I see. Yeah, I didn't go from... I didn't have the original Xbox back then, so I didn't have a way to keep up with the story, sadly. I mean, not that I was super invested in the story of Sarge's Heroes. I mean, I like the games well enough, but like I couldn't tell you what the story of the games was at this, this far out. It didn't stick with me. But I did, remember that, or I thought I remembered at least, that it ended on a cliffhanger, and then I remember being, a little annoyed by that. I remember my annoyance, but not the specifics of why. Hey, EpiPen, welcome back. I did. I got the expert badge. I actually got 2 of them. I went to another mini game and got a second expert badge as well. So I've only got one of those left to get. And we actually might go make a few attempts at it here pretty soon, because I kind of don't have any ideas of anything better to do. I'm not finding what I want to find here. I don't even know how to get out of this room. I can't, I've completely lost track of the door I came in through. Cool, another circle. Everything looks the same! Alright, I've got to... Let me try switching characters real quick. Maybe there's not an invisible wall there. Maybe Lupus just can't stand on it, right? Maybe he's too blocky. I don't think that's the case. But I don't know. Oh. No. I gotta go. I'll return to catch some more streams. Good luck finishing. Hey, thank you, Amazon Prime Directive. It's been great talking with you. Really appreciate the good luck sentiments, and hopefully we'll see you again. This is a little later than I usually stream. I'm in the Central Time Zone. It's almost 6:30 for me a.m. right now. I usually stream between about 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. So I've gone a little bit late tonight, but not by much. But I'm around a lot, so we have a good chance of running into one another again. I didn't really think I could go into there. I thought that was too narrow anyway. I'm gonna go for about another half an hour. I can't really go much later than that. I've got early morning things I have to take care of, but I'm gonna poke around this level just a little bit longer, and oh, that's not promising. And then I want to see about maybe making a few attempts at the last robot game. There's one particular area where the boxes are offset that I want to try jumping on. Well, this is a duplicate of it, okay. So if I can't jump up here, then I can't. This is terrible. Rare, you should be ashamed of yourselves. This is just awful that you would do this. I'm mad. They offset these platforms. Look, there's plenty of room there. I should be able to stand right there. But they put an invisible wall. Then don't offset the boxes if you're going to do that to me. I should be able to stand up there. I can't stand this. This invisible wall makes me sick. This right here sums up everything you need to know about this game. That they would offset these boxes to create a ledge and then clog it with an invisible wall just to mess with you. That is the perfect summary of what this game is like. That's so disappointing, infuriating. The Rare, you're a bunch of liars and cheats. You're not my friends. None of them. None of you. You hear me? You're not my friends. How do you do this to me? I'm never gonna forgive this. There was another stage where it was to my great detriment that I didn't run around with a flare in the darkness because there were teddy bears hidden in the darkness and I didn't ever see them because I never used a flare. Alright, well, this room doesn't work like I need it to. So, 2 things to do. 1, we need to check Tall Fret with Lupus again. Just because there's an upgrade. There's a ammo capacity upgrade here. That I might be able to get now. And then, we're going to go to the Fiery Planet for the last minigame. Are we doing on time? Everything takes longer than I think it's going to, because we have to watch all these cutscenes. We should be here every night this week. Tomorrow night we're going to play Jump King for the first couple hours of the stream. And then we're going to switch over to... I have a plug-and-play called 50 Video Games Included. It's kind of like Action 52 on the NES, if you're familiar with that. It's the same basic idea. We've been chipping away at it little by slowly, playing a few games every now and then. And tomorrow night's going to be one of those nights. So, we might get sometimes those games are real gems, and sometimes they're real trash. But I've been trying to work my way through it. I've been trying to beat every game in the collection. And some of them are beatable, but some of them aren't. Some of them aren't beatable. Some of them I can't beat just because they're absolutely too hard. And those make me sad, because I really want to stick with them and try to beat them all, but some of them there's just no way. Like, they go on for 100 levels and you only have 3 lives, and they're tough. Some of them I can't beat because they're broken. And some of them I can't beat because they're endless. But all of them that I can, I try real hard. And I've beaten about... probably 85% of the ones we've played. 80-85%. At least 4/5 easily. But we're in the last 10, so we're almost done with that. But that'll be probably what we do for the bigger part of the night. Just double checking. I don't remember if I ever collected that or not. And Thursday night, I think we're going to play something new on Thursday night. I'm not sure what. Maybe an NES game. And then we'll play this again on Friday. So that'll be how we play out the rest of the week. There might also be a little bit of Jump King on Thursday and Friday. It just kind of depends on how tomorrow night goes and how I'm feeling. I don't want to... I never want to put Jump King down for too long now. But it's hard to have time for it every night. when some of the other games we play are real demanding. Okay. Is this a shuriken upgrade? It's not. Oh, that's interesting. Life Force door. It's a waste of ammo door is what this is. Alright, well there's still some weapon out there that I've never collected with Lupus. That's all I wanted to check on that stage. Now I've been here with Lupus before because this is one of his levels, but there's a place upstairs. I don't know if I ever took Lupus there. Goodness. That full heal didn't last me very long. I was gonna lose my mind if that was a box I'd never collected before. That was awesome. I've never done that before. To hover at the enemies and fire at them like that? I've never done that before. That works out amazingly well. That's probably what those platforms are there for. I guess there's no way to fly up there. I don't think there's any way to get up onto that bridge. If there's something hidden in here, it's hidden real well. Hey, we just got another new follow. Welcome to the stream, my new friend. I will allow you to remain anonymous if you prefer, but I am grateful to have you with us. Thank you for coming on board. Eight jetpack is not very much. Now, I don't know if we've ever taken Lupus through here. I don't really feel like there's anything in this area that would... Like, the only thing he's got going for him is the hover ability. I don't think there's any reason up here we would want to hover, but... Won't know till we look, I guess. Try and make sure we check every passageway. I'm dying! It's just a big loop in here. Oh, I remember what was in here. Well, I don't, but I do. I've only got English. If you want to communicate with me, I'm gonna have to ask you to stick with English, please. That's the only language I've got. Because I don't know what this is, because I don't know what this says, I'm gonna have to delete it. Just to be on the safe side. Okay, yeah, big brain room. This is a dangerous place, this big brain room. I'm getting zapped an awful lot. Somewhere there's a platform that will lift me up to somewhere useful. There it is. Let's go. Well, I do believe there was a spaceship part in here once upon a time, as I recall. My alarm is going off. Is it safe to go in here? Oh, I can't go in there. Well, unfortunately, this quest has seems to have ended in sadness. Well, I am pretty sure that I'm right that I never brought Lupus there. It doesn't seem like there's anything for him. I keep pressing the wrong button. Doesn't seem like there's anything for him to grab out of that area. Time is running short for me tonight. Hey, Bribehead, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Very grateful to have you join us. Let me give you a shout out. Welcome to Jet Force Gemini. If you've got the time and energy to hang around a moment and tell us what you're up to, we'd love to hear the details of your stream. In the retro category, My Home Sweet Home. How goes it in here? It's been a rough night. This game, I'm in the very late game with this. I've got two key items I need to find, two collectibles to wrap up story progress. Unfortunately, I just cannot for the life of me even begin to figure out where they might be, so I'm in a very rough spot in regard to that. I don't know how I'm ever going to make progress in the game again. I've got 2 collectibles that are very tough to find, and I've got a bunch of mini games to complete that are exceedingly difficult to complete. I was stuck on one of the mini games for 3 hours tonight before I finally cleared it. But we did clear it, and I got the second one. I actually only have 2 left. I've got I think 2. I might have 3. I've got 1 flying robot mini game. I've got a top-down racing mini game, and there might be 1 other racing mini game. I'll have to double check. It's a rough game because, like, it's almost a really good game, Jet Force Gemini. Like, it's the game starts off okay, and then it gets pretty good for most of the middle game. And then when you start getting near the end, it gets really rough. Had a wonderful night. Hit a sick PB speedrunning Demon's Crest. That's right. I did notice you were playing. I've seen the thumbnails in my feed that you were playing that. I actually haven't played that yet myself. That's one of those games that's like, that one's on my to-do list. So I've got to, I got to be a little careful to avoid spoilers regarding it. I'm a big fan of the Ghosts and Goblins series. Super Ghouls and Ghosts is my favorite video game of all time. So, naturally, Demon's Crest is on my radar, but I haven't made the time for it yet. But GG on the PB. Let me start a new game for the Game Boy called Alfred Chicken. We're learning that pretty well. I've heard of that game. I have no idea what it is, though. I don't know what it's like or anything. I've definitely heard the title. Glad to hear it's starting off well, though. I hope it continues on that trajectory. I remember renting this once when I was younger. Don't remember much about it. I had this game when I was a kid. I got it. I feel like I got this right before the GameCube came out. So I never played it very much because it very quickly got overshadowed. And it's been one that's like, it's been one that's been in my mind to, like, you know, it's like, oh, it's one of those games I had as a kid I never finished. I need to go back to it. Like, it's always been in the back of my mind. And I'm finally doing it, but I'm also kind of regretting it. The moment-to-moment gameplay is pretty fun, but it's got a very big game world, and it's very cryptic. And you find yourself having to, like, slog through areas over and over again. It's really difficult because, like, anytime you want to go somewhere to, like, if you have an idea for, like, somewhere that you need to go to check something out real quick, there's no doing anything real quick in this game. It takes a lifetime to get from any area to another. Okay, I don't even know if I need to finish these, if I even need to finish these enemies off. I might just need to go in here. I never played Demon's Crest prior to about 2 weeks ago. It's pretty good. We do a new game every month. We put Demon's Crest to bed for now. It's time to embrace the chicken. Learning a speedrun every month and becoming proficient in it is like, that's no small feat. So far, I've only played... I played Gargoyle's Quest on the Game Boy. I played the Game Boy game in that series. And I understand that there is... Alarms keep going off. I understand there's a Famicom game as well. I liked the Game Boy game. That one was pretty good. The same jingle for one of my alarms. I did a double take. Yeah, I hear that one sometimes when I'm out and about, and yeah. Definitely gets my attention. Alright, so we're going to take a look at this. We're going to have to actually finish this robot mission another night, I think. I want to see what our objectives are. So, targets destroyed. Okay. Primary objectives, 24 DNA strands. Okay. I missed those. So I missed 3. I think I missed 2 more, so now we're at 5 missed. And then I missed 3 more. Is that 8? So I should have 16 when we finish this. 15. So these robot missions are the primary thing that I've been struggling with all night. I'm trying to get expert medals. There's a green medal, a bronze medal, silver, gold, and expert. So there's 5 levels of medals, and I got gold medals on all of them. But then I found out that the expert medal exists, and so now I have to go back to all of them and try to get the expert medals, and it is really, really hard. The time limits that they expect you to complete these in for the expert medals are brutal. And that's what I was struggling with tonight. It took me 3 hours to get the expert medal on the first one of these earlier tonight. The second one, fortunately, came much quicker. I didn't actually pay attention to how long it took. Like, it might have taken about an hour, but there was a lot of downtime for that one. We had a big raid come in, so I was just spending most of the time talking. And then we got that one pretty quick, and so yeah, these are rough. Like, it's hard to not get hung up on stuff. I think I missed one there. And it's really easy to miss the collectibles. Your hitbox for grabbing stuff is way smaller than you would expect it to be. I think because this one is so linear. It's just fly down the corridors, and there's very few things that we actually have to break. It's just fly and collect. I'm pretty sure the time limit for this is gonna be out of this world difficult. Probably sub 1 minute is what we have to aim for. That's how it goes sometimes. You gotta talk to the fans. Yeah, it's not it's definitely a good problem to have. Definitely want to have people to chat with. And when a game gets real brutal like this game does, it's really nice to have, just to have people distract you away from it for a while. It's nice to have the chat, as a distraction to forget about how mean the game is some nights. I missed one again. It was a better time, though. Missed one. Missed one. I'm not really used to playing in a way where I use sound cues like this to be listening for whether I picked them up or not. I'm usually very visually reliant on. I'm usually very reliant on visual feedback. Oh, I slowed down for no reason because I got confused about where I was. I missed one of the things anyway. Those 6 there are tough to get. No, I'm getting hung up on stuff. I'm getting really slowed down. Okay, just a couple more tries. And the last one's on the left. I know I should be shooting the glass from further away. Oh, I missed one. Turning around is not going to be an option. I don't think bouncing off stuff is a huge problem as long as I don't bounce backward. Like, if I'm just rattling around in the tube a little bit, I think that's alright. What I want to be really careful of is not to scrape against the walls of the tube, though. A bounce is fine, a scrape is not. Oops, wrong button. I'm confused about where I was in the tube. I think I missed one. No. Okay, turn bad. I missed one. So it should always be divisible by 3, the number that I have. Not that I really want to pause to check, but if the number in my pocket is not a multiple of 3, then I definitely missed at least one. Oh, please. Yeah. I tend to just play casually. I do challenge runs of games sometimes, like, typically shorter games, like platformers, like Contra, Castlevania, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, like the kind of things that can be beaten in a half an hour to an hour. I might try and do like a deathless run, or like a 1 credit clear or something with those sort of games. But mostly usually I'm just playing casually and trying to 100% stuff. I tried to do everything very strictly blind, so there's a good chance that at any given stream, there's a good chance that I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm just trying to beat this. I'm just trying to casually beat this for the first time, but I do want to I do want to get as close to 100% as I possibly can, which unfortunately means getting the highest medal on these challenges, and they're tough. I thought I missed one. Alright, and I'm actually out of coins now. It costs coins to play this game, and I just ran out. That's why it didn't give me the try again option. I can go in and out of the room to respawn the coins to keep playing it, but there's only a couple here. I think I should just go somewhere else to grind coins. But I actually need to wrap things up for the night. So I think we're going to end stream here, and we'll pick up this challenge next time when we play this again on Friday. But we're going to finish up here for tonight. Yeah, it costs coins. The coins are really easy to farm. They're pretty generously spread throughout the game, and they respawn if you walk in and out of the room. So you can find a room that has like 10 or 12 coins in it, and just walk in and out, you know, like 20 times and have your pockets full. It's a little tedious, but it's not necessarily as bad as it sounds. Oh no, my tablet is dying. Well, I'm gonna try and send us off on a raid, but I might not be able to watch the stream that we raid into. Sub 40 coming soon on Friday, Zergling says. Yeah, Friday we'll finish this minigame and we'll do that racing minigame. And I might have to break my rule. I might have to break the blind policy to find the last collectibles in this game. I am struggling, my friends. I am really running low on ideas of where to even look. I don't want to give up, but I'm scared. I'm scared that might be in my future. But thanks for the stream. Thank you for the raid, Bri. Very much appreciate it. Very grateful to have you join us and bring your people by tonight. Sorry, it was kind of at the end of the stream, and at a point where like the chat has really wound down and my energy is almost all gone. Sorry to be so late into the stream, but very glad to have you stop in. Yeah, I'm sure it's somewhere awful. Oh, we got a new follow. Thank you for coming on board with us, my friend. I'll let you stay anonymous if you like, but I am grateful for you. Thank you for that. So tomorrow night, we're going to play Jump King and 50 video games included. Thursday night, I'm not sure what we're going to play. Something new. I think an NES game. I think I'm going to look and just pick something, maybe a platformer on the NES, something I haven't played before. And Friday, more of this. Start up around 11 p.m. Central Time every night, give or take. And just stream until I run out of energy. So that's what's coming up soon. I'm going to send this over to Abby's stream. Hopefully they're not wrapping up here too soon. Abby's got a very fun stream. It's a lot more high energy, sometimes a bit louder than our stream is. Abby does all kinds of retro stuff, games, really likes retro media, like old-timey commercials and stuff. Do a lot of fun things over here. Not a strictly family-friendly stream, also, just a heads up. You may hear some adult language or conversation topics. If that's a deal breaker for you, just a mild heads up about that. But if you come along, I think you'll have a really good time, my friends. Demon's Crest. I think I'm gonna go with the NES. Mr. Suffer, thank you for the raid. We're actually raiding out ourselves. Very quick shout out to Mr. Suffer. Another excellent retro stream. If you somehow don't already follow, help yourself to the link. I appreciate the raid. I'm sorry it has to be at the end of my stream, but I know you want me to just tell you, I hope you had a great stream, Mr. Suffer, and good night. So take care of yourself, my friend. Major Frames. Hello, New World Rain. Welcome in. We're actually heading out. Thank you for being here, my friends. Be well until I get to see you again. Hopefully that'll be soon, but we're all out of stuff to do here for tonight. It's time for us to head out. Let's go on an adventure.